I remember some years ago, long before I was saved, I had a conversation with a union rep, and I wanted some assistance from her over an issue that I was currently dealing with. And during my 35-40 minute conversation with her, I had the habit of saying, "Oh my God." And after saying that about 20 times, she said, "Can you stop saying that? It's offending me." And I said, "So what's offending you?" And she said, "You said, oh my God, I'm a Christian." And at the time I was not saved, as I said. I was a happy semi-professional singer who went to church as and when I needed to. So I said, rather embarrassingly, in response to this woman, that I was also a Christian. And I was very offended that she would pull me up on using the Lord's name in vain. That was the beginning, probably, or one of the beginnings of my conversion to biblical Christianity. It showed me then just how sinful and wicked I was. So the purpose of this video is to ask a general question, an open question to anybody who's watching this video. I'm talking to people primarily who live in the real world, people who do secular jobs, office jobs, work on the trains, the buses, building sites. I'm talking to people who work 45, 50 hours a week with the average man and woman in the street. And I want to know, what do you do when you're in an environment, you're in a situation, and you hear that sort of language? Do you say anything? Do you challenge it? Or do you ignore it? What happens when your own family say, "Oh my," or they say JC? Do you challenge it? Or do you ignore it? I've been saved several years now, and one of the first things which the Lord stopped me doing was blaspheming. I never used to say JC, but I used to say, "Oh my." It's one of my favourite buzzwords. I've heard Christians say it, I've even heard preachers say it. We're not perfect as Christians. Sometimes we will lapse, we will make statements, and we will say things which are an offence to other Christians, and it's right that we confess when we do this. So what do you do, viewer? I want to know what your experiences are. You're in an office and somebody says, "Oh my," or JC, or they say something derogatory about the Christian faith. We're coming up to Easter very soon, and 80% of the UK don't go to church, they don't fellowship. And yet in 2001 we had a census which affirmed that 73% of British people confessed they were Christians. Most people in this country are secular, they're agnostic now, and unfortunately and regrettably the name Jesus Christ is used as a cuss word, as is "Oh my God." We know from history that the Jews, for centuries and still to this day, don't even say the word God. They use the word Adonai or Kurios or other words, the Blessed One, and they do it because God is a sacred name. So I really want to hear from you. I'm very keen to know what you people do. I've known of brothers who have worked on building sites, who've worked on the roads, and they've had it quite tough. And I know people work in offices and on the buses, and they also have it hard, because you're stuck with people 8-9 hours a day who don't know the Lord, and you're like them once upon a time. So if you do challenge them, how do you challenge them? Do you jump on them the very first time they do it, or do you wait a couple of times? Do you go softly? I really am interested to know how you do it, so please let me know. And just keep this in mind, that every idle word that man says, he will give an account of himself. And we said this in other videos, that one of the reasons why people scream out "Oh my" or JC, because in their conscience, deep down in their DNA, they know who Jesus Christ is. They know who God is, because God made them. And the Gospel of John says that Christ likes every man that comes into the world. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, you curse God and you curse his Son, because you know he is who he says he is. So I'm going to close, just a very short open video. I want to know what your thoughts are on this, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Blessings.